Hello and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. This is episode 76. You are here listening to the Hayley Osborne Show with me, Hayley, and also with me today, my gorgeous guest, Nadine Nethery. She is amazing. She runs a business called Can Do Content, and I wanted to get her on today because there's a lot of buzz, and if you've been under a pillow lately, we are talking about all things artificial intelligence. Now, I don't specifically want to name any particular brand of AI because, I do think it is not just one particular brand in the market. I don't use that particular brand in the market. You know what? I'm going to say it, Chat GPT. I use a brand for AI called Jasper. And that is everything and then some for me. It saves me so much time in research and other things. I don't want to spoil this episode, but Nadine, I wanted to get her on today because Nadine is an audience-driven copywriter. And I wanted to get her on to talk about how artificial intelligence has come into play for businesses like Nadine's. And oh my goodness, this is absolute fire. She is a copywriter and brand messaging strategist for female founders who want to intentionally attract, delight, and retain their dream customers. Her strategic take on audience research, copywriting, and messaging turns every brand touchpoint into genuine connections that drives sales, celebrate loyalty, and surround you with keen brand advocates who happily do the word spreading for you. And that's what it's all about, right? We want to drive sales, we want to create genuine connections, and we do want people to spread the word. Word of mouth is everything, and it all starts with your copywriting. Over the past 7 years, Nadine has given global e-com success stories, game-changing startups, and industry-disrupting service providers the words to absolutely shine and the strategies to build a sustainable business long term. So before I jump the gun and talk about all things AI and copywriting, let's get into today's episode so we can really learn about Nadine's zone of genius and how amazing she is. Her and I have been connected as online kind of besties for a couple of years now. We started following each other on social media, and it's just kind of grown ever since. And I'm really excited to have her here for today's episode. So without further ado, here we are. You are listening to The Hayley Osborne Show with me, Hayley, your host. This is your place to learn how to become the superhero marketer in your business, to become the number one in your local community, both online and your surrounding areas. Every week, I'll be teaching you how you can achieve the best out of your marketing, your business, and be the most fearless superhero version of yourself. Small business owners are the backbone of the economy, and I'm here to demystify local area marketing to help you reach more customers. Between myself from South Australia and my wildly inspiring guests from across the world, I'm so excited to discuss all things marketing your business with you. I believe in you, so let's get started. Hi, Nadine, and welcome to the Hayley Osborne Show. I am so glad that you are here with me.
So cool to be here and finally digitally meet you in person,
I know.
that semi-weird online relationship.
Yeah, we were just saying before, the stalker, we're both been stalking each other, and it's I feel like I know you so well.
It's really strange, isn't it? You feel like you've known someone and you actually have never spoken. But yeah, it's a good thing.
Welcome. I would love you to tell our listeners who you are and what you do in your words.
Shall do. So I am Nadine. I'm the founder of Can Do Content and a strategic email and website copywriter for female founders who want to intentionally attract, delight, and retain their dream customers. And audience-driven messaging and copy is my absolute jam.
Cool. So the reason that I wanted to welcome you and have you as a guest on the podcast was because obviously I've seen in my world as well that there's lots of different people I've worked with who are copywriters who are freaked out about AI. And I wanted to get you in because this is your like jam, this is your zone. AI has come in and like I've got my own opinions about AI, which we'll go into, but I want you to talk about it. I want you to shed the light on your thoughts, feelings, future. What does that look like for you as a copywriter?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I don't share the, scared attitude that so many copywriters have because ultimately it is just going to mean copy and content is going to be more accessible for more business owners. You obviously have to know how to work the tools. So that's where the strategy and the research piece comes in. So it's not going to replace you as a brand owner. You need to know you, your brand, your audience, particularly inside out, to actually be able to use the tool in a way that creates something meaningful for your business. And even for us copywriters, so I have been playing with it just from an ideation point of view. So it's not, writing my copy for me. My clients still get my strategy and my creative thinking behind their copy, but it is just helping me, overcome blank page syndrome, like so many of us experience. And it is helping free up more space in my business for other things. So I use it for ideation, as I said, even, shitty, excuse the swearing, shitty first
No,
drafts.
that's fine. That's totally fine. Yes.
Yes. So just really speeding up that process. But yeah, as I said, it's super, super critical as a brand owner, as a user, to know what you wanted to produce, to prompt it in a way that is really meaningful and create something that is on brand, that speaks to your audience, and is even usable in the bigger picture of your brand.
And I do find so my take on it is it does prevent writer's block, right? And I feel like that's one of the biggest time wasters in any small business's journey. And the content creation part of copywriting is not going anywhere at all
Yeah.
anytime soon, right? Because I always say 99% of people Google you before they pick up the phone. Then you may not have like a story on your Instagram happening right then and there. So the only way people are going to learn about you, your personality, your business is through your words. And so AI, I feel, is great for writer's block, but it will never be you as a business owner. And so for all the copywriters listening, and even anyone that's in business, like you, unfortunately, you still have to do the work or work with somebody like yourself who is like, that's your zone of genius and that can light up the words on a page to really bring it to life, because AI cannot do that for you.
Yeah. And really, as business owners, I think AI and all that mediocre content that's going to flood the internet is opening up even more opportunities. So business owners that want to go above and beyond and really connect with their audience on a deeper level are going to stand out by sharing their unique point of view, their vision, their mission, why they're in business, the bigger picture, even, unique angles on their niche and on their industry. So it's really all about stepping away from that how-to content, the 10 steps to XYZ, because that's what's going to be increasing, because it's easy to create. AI can tap into what's already out there. It's all about shifting to that, opinion piece and being a thought leader in your field. And that is ultimately what people are going to resonate with and connect with, because it goes beyond something quickly whipped up that is just so bland and mediocre.
Yeah, the grayscale stuff is dead. And I do feel like, there's still room for everybody to grow. And the futurists are like predicting that the online learning and like this space has like exponential growth in the coming years. And I do feel that if you don't embrace that thought leadership and be an amazing storyteller, You do get left behind. You will get left behind because of AI, because everyone's just going to be pumping out generic content. So
Yeah.
don't be that person.
Yeah.
Do
And
you?
it's, again,
Yeah.
going back to strategy. I know you're huge on strategy when it comes to marketing. So it's even more critical now to do that groundwork for your brand and really honing in on, your tone of voice, how you show up, the brandisms, so the terms that are uniquely you that people recognize you for, so you can then infuse that into any AI generated copy. And also really getting to know your audience, because AI, I actually asked ChatGPT, a bit cheeky, the other week, and asked it about its limitations. And ChatGPT told me in person that it unfortunately has lots of biases, because it picks up everything from content that's already out there. So unfortunately, there's biases scattered all
Nice.
across
Good
the internet.
learning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it told me, it can't feel emotions, and it's lacking empathy. And that is a major red flag for copy, because we all know copy that really connects with your audience needs to lead with empathy, with emotions, and connect and tap into that mindset your dream customer's feeling. So if you rely exclusively on ChatGPT, you're going to fall flat. And that's where, your unique zone of genius and your research into your audience comes into the picture. So you can prompt it in a way that goes deeper, or then alternatively, tweak what ChatGPT gives you with the actual expressions and the terms that your audience is using to make it really tangible, really relatable.
I've used ChatGPT before, and I played with it because I taught a masterclass inside the membership on AI, but I actually use a program called Jasper. And I find that as a research tool to be pretty amazing. And for my solo podcast episodes, some of them I will research using Jasper, and it is great because then, like, if I'm not super up to speed on a particular topic that I really want to talk about, it cuts out like 3 hours of research for me. But I could never like just read from the page into a podcast and just push it out there. It would be like, that's not me. That's not my personality. And, I think as consumers, especially like when you are ingesting words on a page, we can sniff bullshit a mile away.
Absolutely.
Like, we're getting so much better at that. So if you think that AI can solve all of your problems in terms of the way you show up in your words, it will solve like 1%. You still have to exercise your thought leadership. And I think that that's brilliant because it cuts out a lot of like, what's the word? Like the people that just come in and leave like the industry straight away. So the like weak zebra marketing or like whatever that is, so I feel like for copywriters, like, and for marketers and anyone in business, there will always be a place for you because you are human. And when you know your stuff, you know your stuff.
Yeah. And ultimately, you still need to know how to piece words together.
Yeah.
And how to structure your sales page, how to guide the reader and support the reader on that journey. So that's where I think for us copywriters, it's really going to filter out, those copywriters who are coming in who think copywriting is all about creativity and, being funky and coming up with a catchy tagline without any strategies to back it up.
100%.
Where, those who do the groundwork and know the principles, how to, structure a sales page, how to structure a website in a way that supports the reader, they're going to, still have a place, and people are still going to appreciate them, because ultimately a lot of us don't want to spend the time creating our own content, and are happy to hand it over as well.
Yeah. Awesome. So I want to know, tell me a little bit about your business journey as Nadine and how you have come to be so passionate about what you do.
Yeah, it's like many copywriter journeys. I've come into it via many detours.
Yeah.
So I have a background in corporate communications and marketing.
Yes.
And worked in corporate PR for a global car brand for got close to a decade. So I traveled
Yikes.
the world, going to motor
Yeah.
shows, car launches in Italy, Paris Motor Show, loved it. And yeah, that's where sort of my initial love for writing came in, press releases and really finding that unique angle for products. And then, yeah, was made redundant, like happens to so many of
Handy.
us. I know, right? So I was made redundant when my second one was 3 months old, which was a bit of a shock to the system.
You know
And
what? This is
mm,
like a common story that I hear.
it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
The amount of people, especially,
Yeah.
women in business I've met who went, stuff it, I'm doing my
Uh-huh.
own thing. I'm just not doing it anymore. Far too common, unfortunately.
It
But
is.
yeah, it sent me into, an identity crisis going, is it me? Like, I don't know, rather emotional hormones with a 3 months old floating
Mm.
around. So I just, at that point, decided I was going to do something for myself. Didn't quite know what that looked like. And yeah, in the meantime, took a full-time gig because you have to pay the bills,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, and
Mm-hmm.
did corporate sales for Australia's largest retailer, which gave me a completely different perspective, nothing I'd ever done before.
Mm.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the selling side of things and even, retaining customers when it came to renewing licenses, etc. So got that sales perspective. And then ultimately one day at work, it just clicked. I'm like, I really, I'm good at writing. I love the sales side of things. Let's look into content marketing, something that combines the two. So I did a content marketing course on the side, on my lunch break, learning. And part of that course was a copywriting module and just going into detail around, principles and how to position things. And I went, oh my God, people are actually paying people. Like, this is a job. I could actually do this.
This
And
just lights me up.
I know, I'm like, this is genius. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I started on the side while still working full time. And at that point, being 3 months pregnant with my third. I know, right? Like a challenge.
Oh,
Just
yes.
started a side hustle and thought, let's see how this goes. And somehow found clients, people who trusted me, who were happy to, get me on board. Some of them are still clients today, which
The
is
best.
amazing.
Yeah.
And
That just
yeah,
goes to
so
show how amazing you
mm,
are, right? When you have those long clients.
it's so cool to see, like
Yeah.
my brand has evolved over the years and
Yeah.
the clients' brands have grown like amazingly. So it's so rewarding. And yeah, so I just started doing everything for everyone until I worked out I actually love emails and websites the most, and took a ton of copywriting courses
Mm.
just to get my skills up, learn the strategies, and then, yeah, quit my full-time gig after maternity leave and went, I'm just going to go full-time. So that was during the
Yay.
pandemic, and I've
Yeah.
never looked back. And
So
yeah, I
good.
love working with all the amazing women, really, going after their dreams. And as you said, there's so many that have been burned in the corporate world who are
Mm-hmm.
now living their dream and really following their passion. And I love being a part of it and helping them share their genius.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, just a segue story. So, I had a corporate marketing role as well I've transitioned a little bit working with some of the biggest brands in the world. And I also worked for the state government of South Australia at quite a high level. And not that I was burnt by it, but then decided to go out on my own. And earlier in the year, it came full circle. And they have
Oh,
been stalking me on LinkedIn and approached me to be a part of an International Women's Day video.
how
Full
cool.
circle, I know. And I was like, this is a moment. I need to sit in this moment and really appreciate like what has happened, how I would
Mm-hmm.
sit there and be like, I wish that I could do this. And then slowly you do it. And then that's kind of like that moment of, did I make it? Didn't I make it? Like,
Is
it's
this
it's
real?
crazy, and it's
Yeah.
important to like I think celebrate your wins, because
Mm.
in your world they're massive, right? So taking the
Yeah.
step, and in the pandemic too, which shifted like your life. And I think running a business with a family, Like it's really hard, don't get me wrong, but it also allows you to be flexible and to show up for your kids, which they need. But I think for everyone listening, like, how do you think that because through the pandemic and young children, like, and running a business and like then AI and how do you keep a resilient business mindset while juggling all the things? That's something I've really been dying to ask you, because you've got 3 kids and you run a really successful business, and you're not afraid. I've seen, just even from your like automatic email response that comes back, it's like, I'm busy with my kids right now doing this, like living on like acreage and chasing after them, and I'll get to you on Tuesday. And I was like, oh, so direct. I love this.
Yeah. It took me a while to get there, to be honest. It's an evolution. As I said, it's been 7 years, and boundaries weren't really my strength when I started. Yeah. So, juggling too many projects, taking everything, saying yes to everything. And it's really taken a conscious effort to shift to even, a way I work with my clients that really works with my schedule and with my boundaries, and making sure that I'm there for my kids and I can have freedom in my calendar to move things around. So it's been a conscious effort, but I do love even involving my kids. Like my daughter, I call her my client gifting manager. She loves being involved in the gifts and boxing them all up. So I think it's a great thing for us women to teach our kids, especially us, our little girls, that you can be anything you want to be, and you can craft a career around your passion and what you want to do, and you can be both a mum, a business owner, and still, feel like you're mastering both. Of course, some days it's a massive juggle. Let's not sugarcoat that. But majority of the time, I feel like I actually have things together, which is great. Yeah. And in the corporate world, like when I was working full time with 2 kids at school and pregnant, I was constantly chasing my tail. So I was close to burnout, constantly stressed. Leaving early. My daughter was in before and after school care. 5 days a week, which looking back on it, I don't know, I feel terrible about it. I know she's fine, she's not scarred, but at least nowadays, as I said, I'm there for my kids, and I still get to do what I love doing, and I feel so much more fulfilled doing, and running my own business.
Yeah, for people listening who are thinking of either like going out on their own or in a similar situation, like this is a beautiful example. And just, I'm sure like your world with 3 children and a business is chaos, but you just roll with that chaos and turn the chaos into cream. I was trying to think of a C word. Like you turn the chaos into something beautiful that isn't actually chaos, and you move straight through the middle. And talking about having your children involved, I just attended, which we talked about before we press record, a retreat in Port Douglas with Tina Tower. I'm a part of her mastermind group, and her children were there. Her 2 boys, one of them did the welcome to country. They were at the welcome table, ticking everyone off. They were roaming with the mic. They were doing all her reels, like taking little video. They were fully immersed in the whole conference, and they had the week off of school or whatever. And it's like they probably learnt more in that week just watching their mum on stage do her thing. And like, if anything, I take away from like women in business that have children, and not everybody does, but there's something in that of like bringing your like internal community along the journey with you, even if that's just you and your partner. I think that it's a beautiful thing, and I think embrace it rather than like pull that. And that's something that you do, which is beautiful.
Yeah. And you know what, even showing your daughter that you're not just a mum, and that there's another side to you than just making lunches and doing the dishes and cooking, etc. So it's just, I don't know, it's been such a great journey to come to from this side hustle to where I am today.
So another thing in terms of like educating and upskilling yourself along the way, do you have a mentor? Have you had a mentor? And like, at what point, like, how did you get a feel for it? Like, where does that sit with you in terms of upskilling, like for yourself?
Yeah, so I constantly invest in courses, in
So good.
programs,
Yep.
because, there's always something to learn and a new focus in
Mm.
my business. So as I
Yep.
said early on, I invested in Kirsty Fenton's Brain Camp. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
whether you're aware of her, but she's an amazing copywriter. Her focus is really on, that research piece and consumer psychology. So she has really transformed my take on copywriting early on, had a huge influence in the copywriting area of my business, the actual technical skills. And then I know I talked about my boundaries, so structuring my services in a way that worked for me. I invested, was it 2 years ago? Time flies. I think about 2 years ago in a
Feels like
mentor
yesterday.
program. I know, time flies. But yeah, that was like a 6 month program all about implementing, structure into your business and yeah, delivering your services in a way that work around your family. That was with Jordan Gill. So Done in a Day was the program. I don't think she's running it anymore in that format. But
Yeah. So
yeah,
you've
that
done a
was
lot
like
of
they've
work on
done,
yourself. I love that.
yeah. And
Yep.
so now I'm trying to identify the next big thing because it never
Yeah.
ends.
And I do feel like you do need a little bit of a community around you when you run a business. And most of us work from home. And that's the one thing that I think is missing is the little community vibe
Mm,
and like being around like-minded people, because you do get that in a workplace. You do get that in
yeah.
a workplace and you bounce ideas off each other and things. And that's one of the reasons why I built my membership was to well, actually, that's a lie. I built the membership because there was a gap in the market that I found small businesses couldn't afford to work with someone one-on-one, but they needed like to do
Mm,
the things and upskill themselves. The byproduct of that though was the community. And that's something I'm really proud of, is the business
mm,
owners coming together. So I do think it's important for everyone to like lean into learning more, because you don't know what you don't know. And I feel like, yeah, you need to like prepare yourself for what's around the corner. And it's really
mm.
important to continue to
Yeah.
educate and upskill yourself.
And it's so easy to get set in your ways as well, in your
Mm,
ways of doing things. There's always more efficient ways of doing things and
yeah,
time to
yeah,
save. So I'm a huge
yeah,
fan of just, even trying new things, trying new systems that I find out about, because you never know how they can transform your
yeah,
workflows and your automations. And again, being a one-woman show, time is my absolute luxury. So if I can save a few minutes by automating XYZ,
yeah.
I'm up for it.
Systems and processes are
Mm.
everything. I know. So what's the one thing that you're most proud of in your business? Please tell us.
Oh, probably the long-term relationships I've established with my clients. So a lot of them, as I said, they keep coming back for seconds and thirds, and I feel like I'm a long-term part of their business,
Yeah.
shouting them out on socials, and it's a real community
Yeah.
that I've built around my brand of amazing women, both in the e-com space and the service-based space. And yeah, just proud of the impact that I'm having on women who, when they come to me, are quite intimidated by the idea of sharing their story and, proudly sharing their zone of genius and, the impact that they're having on the world. I think it's a female thing. And we
Mm,
like to play down the impact we're having, and this little business we're running, I'm just a copywriter, or I'm just a candle maker, whatever that might look like. So I find, I give people the confidence to just step out and own their genius.
yeah, this big
Mm.
business that you're running,
Yeah, exactly.
essentially. But
Look what you're doing.
I
It's
know, but they keep coming back to you as a testament to you because
mm,
you are so darn good at what you do. So,
mm.
yeah. What's the one piece of advice that you would give business owners right now?
Be bold and brave, and own, your story, your why, because that's why people come to you. They
Mm,
don't necessarily, obviously they buy your products, but they ultimately want to connect with you as the business owner. They want to buy into your story. They want to become a part of your journey. So really don't hide behind the online filter that we often like to put up. Just step out as you and own your story, and people are going to either resonate with it or they're not. And the people who don't simply aren't your people. And the sooner you realize that, the happier you will be in your business.
And for those people listening that are thinking to themselves right now, but I don't know what my story is, that is what Nadine does. So lean into her to help you, because then once you own your story, you no longer will have a disconnect between your personality and your website and your copy and the way that you show up. And that will enable you to be able to show up so much easier, so much bolder, and actually feel like you are stepping into you. I think that's really important. So work with Nadine because she's great. So on that, I would love you to tell our listeners where they can connect with you, socials, website, and if you have something that they can steal from you for free, like what is that? Please tell me.
Of course I do. Everyone's got one. So you can track me down via my website, candocontent.com. You can also stalk me on Instagram at candocontent. And I have an amazing freebie that Hayley's going to link up in the show notes, all about truly getting to know your audience. You know, I said it's important for AI and really speaking to the core of your audience. I have a freebie that delivers you 10 strategic survey questions that I use in my one-on-one client projects, very strategic, and they are going to help you capture that essence of your mindset, your customer mindset, and the transformation that you deliver. So you can then rock it in your copy, in your content, and in your marketing.
So get that. Think about how you would answer the questions and have that as the foundation piece to start the bigger body of work when people come on board to work with you, because you do need to start somewhere. That's a really great that's such a good irresistible offer. Well done.
Thank you.
Cool. All right, Nadine, thank you so much for coming on my podcast. It's been so lovely talking to you, and I will put all her details in the show notes, and I wish everyone a great day. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me, Hayley. It's been a blast.
Bye.
Bye.
I hope you've enjoyed listening to this episode. If you have, hit subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes released every Tuesday. And while you're there, leave me a review. I would absolutely love to read it. Also, don't forget to tag me at Hayley K Osborne, HayleyK OSBORNE over on Instagram, and share this podcast with your audience so they can get learning too. If you want more, head over to hayleyosborne.com.au/podcast for today's show notes and links. I've also got an awesome free ebook, a new one, waiting for you on my website, The 10 Essentials Every Local Area Marketing Plan Needs. And I will catch you next week for another episode of The Hayley Osborne Show.